Ever wondered why something you recently learned about suddenly seems to pop up everywhere? Picture yourself learning a new word, perhaps something as unusual as serendipity. Suddenly, it's everywhere, in books, movies, casual conversations. This curious phenomenon is known as the frequency illusion, or the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. Once you've dialed into a particular station, you start catching all the songs broadcasted on that wavelength. Similarly, once your brain learns something new or unique, it starts noticing it more often. It's not that these instances have increased in frequency, but your awareness of them has. This phenomenon subtly shapes our daily life, influencing our perception of the world around us. Imagine your mind as a spotlight in the dark, illuminating only what it's trained on, while the rest remains in shadows. The frequency illusion is what happens when that spotlight shifts. Intriguing, isn't it? The question remains, why does this happen? To understand the frequency illusion, we must first delve into the labyrinthine workings of our brain. This powerful organ, tucked safely within our skull, is not just the command center for our body, but also the architect of our perceptions and experiences. Let's focus on a particular part of the brain, the reticular activating system, or RAS. Imagine RAS as a vigilant doorman, stationed at a grand hotel. This hotel represents your conscious mind, with countless rooms filled with thoughts, ideas, and information. But not everyone, or rather, everything, can gain entry. The doorman, our RAS, decides who gets in and who doesn't. RAS filters out unnecessary noise, letting only relevant information through. It's like when you're at a party, engrossed in a conversation, and you tune out the surrounding chatter. But if someone in that background chatter mentions your name, your attention immediately shifts. That's your RAS at work, filtering through the noise to find what's relevant to you. In the context of frequency illusion, let's say you've just learned a new word, serendipity. Suddenly you start noticing it everywhere, in books, TV shows, even in casual conversations. It's not that serendipity has suddenly become popular. It's your RAS, now aware of this new word, highlighting it for you amidst the sea of words you encounter every day. But here's a twist. The RAS doesn't differentiate between what you want and what you don't. If you're anxious about spiders and you're constantly thinking about them, your RAS will point out every tiny spider or anything remotely resembling one, amplifying your fear. So in essence, our brain, with its intricate network of neurons and its vigilant doorman, the RAS, shapes our experiences. It filters our reality, deciding what we notice and what we ignore, crafting a personalized world for each of us. It's a marvel of nature, a testament to the complexity of human consciousness. So, our brain is the culprit behind this illusion, but what triggers it? The frequency illusion doesn't just happen, something sparks it off. It's a bit like a matchstick lighting a candle. The matchstick, in this case, is what we call the triggering event. This event is the initial exposure to a new word, concept, or idea. It could be something as simple as overhearing a conversation in a cafe, reading an intriguing article, or stumbling upon a new term during a late-night web surfing session. The triggering event is crucial because it makes you aware of something you previously hadn't noticed or given much thought to. It's as if you've been handed a pair of binoculars and directed to focus on a specific point in the vast sky of your daily experiences. Suddenly, you start noticing this new thing everywhere. But has it really sprung up from nowhere? Not quite. This is where the role of attention comes into play. It's not that the frequency of this new thing has increased in your life, rather your awareness of it has. It's akin to the sudden prominence of a piano melody in a song, once you've trained your ear to listen for it. The melody was always there, intertwined with the other musical notes, but your attention brings it to the forefront. A real-life example could be the new car phenomenon. Ever noticed how, after buying a certain make and model of car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere? It's not that there's been a sudden surge in the number of people buying the same car, it's just that your attention has been drawn to it, making it seem more prevalent. Another example is when you learn a new word, and then it seems to pop up in every conversation, book, or article you encounter. Again, the word was always there, hiding in plain sight. Your newfound awareness simply brings it into the light. So, the trigger point of the frequency illusion lies in the intersection of a triggering event and heightened attention. It's a fascinating dance between our perception and reality, one that often leaves us in awe of our own minds. Now that we know what triggers it, let's debunk some common misconceptions about the frequency illusion. Scene script. Many believe that the frequency illusion is a sign of the universe speaking to them. Is it though? Let's delve into some common misconceptions about this curious phenomenon. Picture this. You've just learned a new word. Let's say serendipity. Suddenly, you start hearing it everywhere. It's in the book you're reading, the film you're watching, even in the conversation at the next table in the cafe. You might think, is the universe trying to tell me something? But hold on a moment. The frequency illusion, also known as the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, is not a mystical sign from the universe, but rather a testament to the fascinating workings of our own minds. It's a cognitive bias, a quirk in our brain's information processing system. You see, our brains are constantly bombarded with an overwhelming amount of data. To make sense of it all, our brains use filters, deciding what to pay attention to and what to ignore. Once something has been flagged as important or interesting, like our new word serendipity, our brain is primed to notice it more. It's not that serendipity is appearing more frequently, it's just that we're more attuned to it. Now you might ask, but what about when I think of someone, and then they call me? Surely that's more than a coincidence. Well, not necessarily. This is another common misconception about the frequency illusion. The truth is, we think about people more often than we realize. When one of those people happens to call us, we notice it and remember it because it's remarkable. But we forget all the times we thought about people and they didn't call us. This is known as confirmation bias, and it feeds into the illusion. So the frequency illusion is not about the universe sending us messages or signs. It's about brain function, attention, and memory. While it's not supernatural, the frequency illusion can still surprise us in many ways. Just when you think you've got a handle on the frequency illusion, it throws a curveball. Let's dive into the surprising aspects of this mind-boggling phenomenon. The frequency illusion, or as it's also known, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, doesn't just play tricks on your mind. It holds a profound influence over our perception and decision-making process. Imagine being on a diet, and suddenly, it seems like everyone around you is talking about that double chocolate fudge cake. It's not that the world has conspired against your diet plan. Rather, your brain is hyper-attuned to anything related to food, especially that delightful dessert you're trying to avoid. Or think about the time you bought a new car, a model you thought was unique. Suddenly you start seeing it everywhere. It's not that everyone copied your excellent taste in vehicles, but your brain, having recently encountered this new model, is now more aware of its presence. This is the frequency illusion at work, subtly steering your perception and decisions without you even realizing it. It can even influence major life choices. For instance, if you're considering moving to a new city, and you keep coming across articles, posts, or conversations about that place, you might interpret this as a sign that you should indeed move, when in reality, it's the frequency illusion playing its tricks again. But here's another twist. The frequency illusion isn't just about noticing things more. It can also cause you to overlook other equally important information. Like a spotlight on a stage, it illuminates some aspects while leaving others in the shadows. So, while you're busy noticing all the instances of your new car model, you might be missing out on other models or makes that could be just as prevalent. This selective attention can skew our understanding of the world around us, making the uncommon seem common and the common seem rare. The frequency illusion, a simple brain function, yet it holds so much sway over our lives. From the workings of our brain to debunking myths, we've covered a lot of ground. We've delved into the intriguing world of the frequency illusion, understanding how our minds highlight the things we've recently noticed or experienced. We've seen how these triggers can be as mundane as a word or as significant as a life event. We've dispelled common misconceptions, acknowledging that this illusion is not a sign of a mystical universe, but rather an everyday quirk of our cognitive processes. And we've explored the surprising aspects of this phenomenon, like how it can shape our perceptions and even our decisions. We've journeyed through the mysterious labyrinth of the human mind and the enigmatic patterns it can weave. The frequency illusion is just one of its many fascinating tricks. Next time you notice something popping up everywhere, remember, it's not the universe. It's just your brain playing the frequency illusion trick.